Shalom everyone, this is Ike and welcome to Hebrew Israelites Awakening Season 2, Episode 1. And today's topic is going to be the fate of the Gentiles. Now, I tried to do this live a couple of minutes ago, but it just shut down on me. I don't know why. I guess they stopped me from going live with this. So I'm going to just have to record it and upload it like, a normal person would do. I'm still not going to edit this one. I'm sorry. The scriptures will be in the annotation down below. The scriptures will be in the description box. So if you want to follow along with me, follow the scriptures along with me. They will be in the description box. So without further ado, let's get into the first episode of Season 2 of Hebrew Israelite Awakenings. For those who don't know, first time seeing me, my name is Isaiah. That's the name of this channel. So thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to start with Isaiah chapter 56, verses 3 through 8. That's Isaiah chapter 56, verses 3 through 8. The title of this Bible study is The Fate of the Gentiles, meaning what's going to happen to those who are not Israelites in the kingdom. Will they make it or not? And if they do make it, what's going to be their fate? F-A-T-E. So we're about to read that right now in the scriptures. So let's get to it. In Isaiah chapter 56 verses 3 through 8, it reads, "Do not let the son of the foreigner who joins himself to YAH speak, saying, Yah has utterly separated me from his people. Nor let the eunuch say, Here I am, a dry tree." The precept to that is in Deuteronomy chapter 23 verses 1 through 8. Verse 4. "For thus says Yah, to the eunuch who keeps my Sabbath and chooses what pleases me and holds fast my covenant, even to them I will give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than that of sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off." The precept is in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verses 14, and Matthew chapter 19, verses 13. Continuing, verse 6. "Also, the sons of the foreigners who join themselves to Yah to serve him and to love the name of Yah, to be his servant, everyone who keeps from defiling the Sabbath and holds fast my covenant, even them I will bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices will be accepted on mine altar. My house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations." The precept to that is in Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 16, Jeremiah chapter 31 verses 29 through 30, and Ezekiel chapter 18 verses 4 through 20. Alright, picking back up at verse 8. It says, "The Almighty Yah, who gathers the outcasts of Yasharel, says, Yet I will gather to him others besides those who are gathered to them." And the precepts to that is in Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 21, Isaiah chapter 65 verses 1 through 2, 2nd Ezra chapter 1 verses 24, 35 through 37, and Romans chapter 10 verses 19 through 21. Now we're not going to go to the precepts in this lesson, but you can go to the precepts yourself, because I'm going to put these scriptures in the description box with the precepts so you can research everything I'm telling you and read the precepts for yourself to each verse we just read. But I'm going to have to go back up to break this down for those who read this, don't know the precepts, and take it at face value, not knowing the history of the children of Israel and the covenant and the laws that makes this make sense. So I'm about to break this down to you right now. Picking back up at Isaiah chapter 56, starting at verse 3 through 8. Need a glass of water. Okay, let's get to it. In verse 3 it says, Do not let the son of the foreigner who has joined himself to YAH speak, saying, YAH has utterly separated me from his people. Nor let the eunuch say, here I am, a dry tree. Now, if you go to the precept that I gave you, which is Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 1 through 8, it says in verse 1 of Deuteronomy chapter 23 that a eunuch, someone who has one of their testicles are messed up, or missing testicles, had a vasectomy or something like that, that person could not enter into the congregation of YAH because they had some kind of birth defect, something going on with their testicles. And then it says, do not let the son of the eunuch speak, saying, YAH has utterly separated me from his people. Because in Deuteronomy chapter 23, when you read verses, I believe it's 2 through 8, it says that the children of Ammonites and the Moabites, it says that they should not enter the congregation of YAH for 10 generations. It's talking about the children that the children of Israel may have through the children of Ammon and Moab, which was the children that Lot had through his daughters. If the Israelite man married one of those women that had children through them, the children could not enter the congregation of YAH for 10 generations. And then it goes down in verses 7 and 8 to say that if we have children through an Egyptian or through an Edomite, then the children can't enter the congregation of YAH for 3 generations. So when you hear they can't enter in for 3 generations or 10 generations or 2 or 4 generations, that's talking about the descendants that you have through a foreign woman. You see what I'm saying? Because the children of Israel had concubines. A concubine was a woman who was like a wife, but she technically wasn't his wife because she wasn't of the children of Israel. See, the children of Israel was commanded not to marry outside of the ethnicity, outside of the children of Israel. But the children of Israel took concubines, female servants that they snatched up when they conquered lands, and they took them as wives. But those wives are called concubines because she's not technically your wife because you can't marry her, but you did. You see what I'm saying? So that's what a concubine was. A concubine was a woman who was like a wife. She had the status of a wife, but she was not technically a wife because she was illegal according to our laws. So that's what I wanted to break down for you guys. Then YAH goes on to say, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have to read everything again. So YAH goes on to say that don't let the eunuch say that he's cut off just because he don't have the testicles. Don't let the son of the foreigner, basically a mamzer, what we would call a bastard, or what they call a mulatto, half-caste, mamzer, mongrel, all these names they have for biracial children who was amongst the children of Israel, because the children of Israel had concubines. Those concubines had children. For the Israelites who lived in the community of the children of Israel, this Bible study isn't about that. I have plenty of Bible studies about mamzers, and I go through the different mamzers that are in the Bible that are mentioned that contributed to the children of Israel because they lived amongst us. But he's basically saying if they keeping the commandments, they keeping the Sabbath, they doing what pleases me, then they shall have a name in the place amongst the children of Israel. Why? Because they are of the seed of Israel. Just because something is wrong with your testicles don't mean you're not going to make it into the kingdom because of this law that Isaiah is referring to. If you keep the laws and statutes and commandments and abide by the laws, you shall enter the kingdom. The same thing to these mamzers, these biracials that's amongst the children of Israel. If they keep the laws and statutes of the Most High and do what pleases Him, they shall enter into the kingdom as well. You see what I'm saying? Like the scripture says, like, don't let the sins of the father be upon the child. If the child sees the sin of the father and chooses not to do that himself, then he shall, and he repents and does what is lawful and right, he shall enter the kingdom of YAH. That's the law. Now, when you read Isaiah chapter 56, verses 3 through 8, that's what it's talking about. He's naming who he's talking about. He's talking about the eunuch, which is somebody who don't have no testicles for some reason. And he's talking about the son of the foreigner, which is a biracial child that a child of Israel had through a foreign woman. That's what it's talking about. It mentions son of the foreigner and a eunuch. It ain't talking about nobody else. It ain't talking about no Edomites. It ain't talking about no Egypt. Not no whole breed. It's talking about the half breed. When it's talking about the son of the foreigner, but it's not talking about no whole descendant of Edom or no whole descendant of Egypt or no whole descendant. This is talking about the biracials. So I'm making that clear, and I gave you the precepts. The precepts are in the description box. All right. Next, we're going to Ezekiel chapter 47, verses 21 through 23. And it reads, it says, "Thus you shall divide this land amongst yourselves according to the tribes of Yasharel." I'm saying Yasharel, which is the Hebrew name for Israel. Israel is a translated version of the word Yasharel, which is the name of the children of Israel. I'm educating you guys so you know what I'm talking about. Like I was saying, YAH. The children of Israel referred to the Most High as YAH. They had YAH in their names. That's why I refer to him as YAH. I know some of you say Yahuwah, some of you say Yahuwah, some of you say Yahweh, some of you say Ahaya. You know, and I know all those names that y'all use. But I'm going to say YAH because that's what the children of Israel had in their names. And I'm going to do that Bible study as well. So bear with me. I know some of you are name sensitive. I know some of you are like, this brother saying YAH. He should be saying Yahweh. He should be saying Yahuwah. He should be saying Yahweh. He should be saying Yehovah. He should be saying Ahaya. Well, I'm going to be saying YAH. Okay? Okay. I just wanted to make that clear because I know, you know, some people triggered when they don't hear you saying the name that they believe is the name. So calm down. I'm going to say YAH. And I explained to you the why. Brother, it's not YAH. It's Yahoo. Look, I said I'm going to say YAH. Get that through your head. Pay attention to what I'm saying. And this is the Spirit speaking to me because I would have just read this, but the Spirit is speaking to me, to somebody that's watching me. And the Spirit is telling me to tell you, don't be triggered. Don't turn off because you don't hear the name that you are used to saying or hearing or the name that you believe. Pay attention to the lesson. You see what I'm saying? Brother, I have the Spirit. I have the Spirit of truth. I'm teaching the truth. So please bear with me. Pay attention. Don't be triggered. You know, be an adult. Stop being so emotional and so sensitive and just pay attention to the lesson. The Spirit was telling me to tell it to somebody. If you know somebody needs to hear this, send it to them. But picking back up at Ezekiel chapter 47, verses 21 to 23. I'm going to pick back up at verse 21. It says, "Thus you shall divide this land amongst yourselves according to the tribes of Yasharel. It shall be that you will divide it by lot as an inheritance for yourselves and for the strangers who dwell amongst you and who bear children among you. They shall be to you as native born among the children of Yasharel. They shall have an inhabitants with you among the tribes of Yasharel. And it shall be that in whatever tribe the stranger dwells, there they shall give him his inhabitants, says the Almighty Yah." Now, normally I would read that again and break it down. But as I'm reading, the Spirit is telling me that somebody's being triggered because I'm saying Yasharel and not Yasha'Allah, right? Because some of you say it's Yasha'Allah. But I'm saying Yasharel, how it's spelled in the Hebrew. You see what I'm saying? So as I'm reading this, the Spirit is telling me somebody's being triggered because you're saying Yasharel and not Yasha'Allah. Somebody's going off in their head because you're not pronouncing it the way they think it should be pronounced. When in actuality and in real life, we just been here for, I'm 37. Somebody watching this is in their 20s. Somebody watching this is in their teens. Somebody watching this is in their 40s or 50s or 60s. Nigga! We don't know how they pronounced this stuff back then because we weren't around. We don't speak in the original tongue. So we try to pronounce it to the best of our abilities with the language we know and how we can sound it out and pronounce it today. We don't know the correct pronunciation of none of these words. So stop tripping about he pronounced it this way, it's supposed to be pronounced that way. Nigga, shut up! Because you don't know. You don't know if you're saying it wrong or not. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong or not. But you know what I'm saying. So stop being so damn sensitive and pay attention. The Spirit. Next we're going to Isaiah chapter 19, verses 23 to 25. And it reads, it says, in that day there will be a highway from Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrians will come into Egypt and the Egyptians into Assyria. And the Egyptians will serve with the Assyrians. In that day, Yasharel will be one of three with Egypt and Assyria, a blessing in the midst of the land, whom Yah of hosts shall bless, saying, blessed is Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hand, and Yasharel, my inheritance. And the precept to that is in Psalms chapter 87, verse 4. Next, we're going to Isaiah chapter 45, verse 14. And it reads, it says, thus says Yah, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Cush and of the Sabaeans, men of stature, shall come over to you, and they shall be yours. They shall work. Hold on, need some water right quick, guys. I gotta make sure I'm not holding my hand in no specific way when I'm drinking this water, because you'll have some clown saying, oh, he's holding up this devilish sign or something like that. He got his pink up, that's the Freemason sign. Or he got the two horns up, that's the devil sign. People be looking for anything to take them out of what's being taught to them to go off and do something else. I promise you. I promise you. And that's the Spirit. Pick back up. I just restart Isaiah 45 verses 14. It says, thus says Yah, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Cush and of the Sabaeans, men of stature, shall come over to you, and they shall be yours. They shall walk behind you. They shall come over in chains, and they shall bow down to you. They will make supplication to you, saying, surely Yah is in you, and there is no other. There is no other Elohim. And the precept to that is in Psalms chapter 68, verse 31. So it's saying that these people, they shall come to you, they shall worship you, they shall bow down to you, because they're going to know that Yah is with us, that we are the children of Israel. It's only when they know who we are, and we are in our position to teach the truth of Yah's word, that's the only way they're going to get salvation. They're not going to go on those scriptures and learn that on their own. They have to get it from us. Because just like we was brainwashed into believing in white Jesus, and believing and his birthday was December 25th, and believing in the Easter Bunny, and the Easter Bunny has to do with the resurrection of Christ, and all this foolishness that we was taught as children, they taught the same stuff. They don't know the truth. And those who know the truth are in control right now. Those are your Illuminati and Freemasonry and all these Skull and Bones and all Knights Templars and all those different Masonic Masonry groups which they got from Egypt. Because Egypt, they created the Masonry system, which is the pyramid system, which is, you know, the person at the top has people under him and the people under him and the people under him. And this is how they kept people in control. It's how they managed to maintain order and rulership over the people of what we call Africa or Kemet for so long. As they had this king system set up in a certain way. the people that's ruling over us now didn't have that system, living in the caves. I mean, they had their duchess and their dukes and all that kind of stuff. They had that system, but they were Neanderthals. You know what I'm saying? They were the cavemen. They were the Flintstone types. You see what I'm saying? Eating raw meat, uncivilized, wearing camel's hair, batting women upside the head with a club and dragging them into the cave and raping them and keeping them in chains and locking them in and having their whole false god system of kidnapping boys and raping them and making boys their sex slaves and all this. And that's the Greek stuff. All this demonic stuff. They did that stuff in the caves and, you know, separated from Yah. All these other nations that are not of the children of Israel did demonic, devilish stuff. No matter who they was, no matter if they were the Kemites, no matter if they were the Ishmaelites, no matter if they were the cavemen, the white man, whatever. If they were not the children of Israel who got the laws and statutes of the Most High Yah, they were sinning. They were sinners. The only people who knew how to keep Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments were the children of Israel, because those are the people that Yah gave his commandments to. He didn't give them to nobody else but them. And the only way that they could get salvation was through us. So the only way they're going to get salvation now is through us, which is what was supposed to happen. See, we, as the children of Israel, are supposed to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And through doing that, Yah would have continued to grow our territories. And we would have continued to conquer the nations that would not bow down and serve the children of Yah through, you know, Yah being our power and Yah leading us with his commandments. All nations that will not submit to the commandments of Yah would have been destroyed. And if we would continue to operate the way Yah wanted us to, all of our territories would have enlarged and grew and expanded, and we would have conquered and ruled over the whole world. But we didn't do that. We kept worshiping after the false gods of the Gentiles, of the heathens, of the pagans. And because of that, we would go into captivity over and over with them, ruling over us and oppressing us, because that was the covenant that we made with Yah, that if we would keep his commandments, he would bless us. And if we wouldn't keep his commandments, then he would curse us, and he would make us slaves to the nations and to the people that he count as, and who he see as, who he visualize as no more worth than spit. And that's in the scriptures. But so the reason that we're in the predicament that we are in today, the reason that we are living in the land of our captivity today, the reason that these so-called white people are ruling over us today and oppressing us today all around the world is because we broke Yah's commandments, and Yah had to fulfill his punishment upon us like he prophesied and said that he would. You see what I'm saying? To those of us who keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, we shall enter into his kingdom. And if there are any Gentiles, now, oh, here comes the Spirit again. There are those who believe, oh, the Spirit is a preacher. Y'all didn't know that. But because the Spirit preaches. There are those who believe that the Gentiles is only referring to descendants of Japheth. Let me correct that for you right quick. Japheth did not have a son named Gentile. Gentile refers to the isles of the Gentiles, meaning the territory where the Gentiles shall dwell and live. The word Gentile only means, when you look up the word in the Hebrew, goyim, only means someone who is not of the children of Israel, Yasharel, or Yashala. That's all it means. You see what I'm saying? The word Gentile does not refer to descendants of Japheth. The word Gentile refers to anyone who is not of the children of Israel. I just want to clear it up. Okay? So when you hear the word Gentile, that's not a descendant of Japheth. And guess what? Even if it was, Yah did not forbid the children of Israel from being with the descendants of Japheth. As a matter of fact, the children of Shem and the children of Israel, well, the children of Shem and the children of Japheth were given the children of Ham, the sons of Canaan, to be his servants and his slaves. So Shem and Japheth got a blessing from Noah pertaining to Ham's son Canaan, making Canaan's children, all of them, the servants and slaves of the children of Shem and Japheth. If you read Genesis, you see what I'm saying? You know this stuff. But let's move on to Zechariah chapter 8, verses 22 to 23. And it reads, it says, oh, and excuse me, I'm not editing it, so if I misspoke or mispronounced a word or something, I can't correct it in the video that I'm recording live, and I'm not editing this. So just excuse me, okay? Put it in the comment section so I can, go back and see what I did wrong or whatever. And I'll correct it in the comment section, but not in this video, because once I finish doing this video, I'm uploading it, because I tried to go live and my live was cut off suddenly, so I just had to just go ahead and record the video. So, sorry. But anyways, next we're going to Zechariah chapter 8, verses 22 to 23. And it reads, it says, yes, many people and strong nations shall come to seek Yah of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before Yah. Thus says Yah, in those days 10 men from every language of the nations shall grasp a sleeve of a Hebrite, Israelite man, saying, let us go with you, for we have heard that Yah is with you. Now, I'm going to read that again. Now, in my Bible study, the Bible study that I put in my in here that I'm reading to you, I'll put the correct names in there. So, for the word Hebrew, the word Hebrew in Hebrew is Eber or Ivory. However you want to pronounce it. Like I said, we don't know how they actually pronounced it, so I can only go by how, like, my Strong's Concordance tell me it was pronounced, or how to pronounce it in modern times. So the Hebrew word for Hebrew is Eber or Ivory, or some people have Ivory. But the Hebrew letters is Aleph, Beth, Resh. It's only 3 letters. So it's the Hebrew letter for A, or it's the A sound or the E sound. It's that Hebrew letter. Then there's the B Hebrew letter for the B sound, and there's the Aura Hebrew letter. So Ra, Bur with the B Aura. Eber. There we go. And Yasharelite, for Israel, Yasharel or Yasharala. So let me read that again. Zechariah chapter 8, and I know some of you want to learn the Hebrew language, and you want to study the Hebrew. You want that to be your second tongue. Some of you were interested in learning Spanish or learning French or one of those different languages, but now that you've come into the knowledge of the truth and you know that you are an Israelite, you see what I'm saying? That you are a Hebrew Israelite, you want to learn our language as your second language. You want to be, bilingual with the tongue that you know now, which is English, and the Hebrew tongue. You see what I'm saying? I understand that. Me too. I want Hebrew to be, it was supposed to be my first language, but it's going to be my second language. So I studied Hebrew too. So the Hebrew word, or the Hebrew pronunciation for Hebrew is Eber, from what I know, right? And the Hebrew pronunciation for the word Israel is Yasharel. Like, how you had Jasher? It was Yasher. Rel, L, E-L. Now something like, no, it's Yasharala. The E-L is L, is in the false God. And listen, brother, I know all of that, but I have to go by what I see. I can't go by what you made up. I can't go by you explaining something away and trying to change something because you think, oh my God, this can't be right. I'm going to change it myself. I can't go by how you want to change something. I can only go by how it's spelled in Hebrew and how it's pronounced in the Hebrew language. That's how I have to go. You see what I'm saying? Respect that. But like it says, in verse 23 of Ezekiel chapter 8. It says, thus says Yah, in those days 10 men from every language of the nation shall grasp the sleeves of an, I'm going to say Hebrew Israelite man, saying, let us go with you, for we have heard that Yah is with you. So this right here, this verse right here tells you that the Gentiles from all the nations, is not referring to Israelites from other nations. This is referring to Israel, because why would an Israelite grab the sleeves of another Israelite? This is talking about a Gentile, a heathen, an Asian man, a white man, a Arab, a Muslim, or whoever. It's talking about one of them, seeing that we're the children of Israel. They're going to bow down and prostrate themselves before us. They're going to be repentant because they despised us. They hated us because they did not know that we were the children of Israel. They didn't understand why they hated us so much. They didn't understand why we were hated so much. They didn't understand why we were portrayed the way that we were portrayed. They didn't understand why we treated each other the way we treated each other. But now when they hear us preach the truth, that we're the children of Israel, that we're one of the curses, and everything that is happening to us is according to God's word and God's will, and they realize all the prophecies and everything they've read about the scriptures is true in us, that's when it clicks in them. That's when they wake up, and that's when they want to worship us and bow down to us and follow us, because they know that we are in the truth. That's when they want to support us and throw dollars at us and follow us and constantly want salvation and our approval, because they know we're the true children of Israel. That's how it goes. Nobody is going to get salvation of the other nations that don't know that we are the children of Israel. It's not going to happen. I don't care how many Jews are keeping Passover. I don't care how many Jews know when the correct new moon is. I don't care how many Feast of Tabernacles. I don't care how many synagogues. I don't care how much truth they're teaching. I don't care how much they in those Messianic synagogues teaching the word of the Most High Yah. As long as they think that they're the children of Israel and that we are not, they ain't going to make it into the kingdom, because nobody believing a lie, not knowing who the children of Israel is going to make it into the kingdom of heaven, because we're the children of Israel, and the only way you're going to get salvation is through the children of Israel. Period. That's the only way you're going to get salvation is through us. You ain't going to get salvation through somebody who's not one of us. They don't know that we're the children of Israel. How that's going to happen? When we are the priests and the kings of the world, when Yah put it in us, gave us the spirit of truth, the spirit of the anointed, to preach and to teach the word of him to his people. He gave it to us, not to them. Now, some of you learn some stuff from them. And the reason, and like I say, anybody can research the word and study the word and learn truth and teach the truth. Anybody can do that. You see what I'm saying? I researched the word for myself and learned the truth for myself just by researching and studying his word. I didn't learn that from nobody that's in one of these groups. I didn't learn that from no ISUPK, no GOCC, no IUIC, no all these other groups. I didn't learn none of this from them. I learned this truth from researching the word, and then when I started looking out to see who else knew it, and I went on social media and came across, you went to YouTube, and I saw, oh, these brothers know this stuff too. But then I started seeing that these brothers teach false doctrine. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, these brothers teaching that Mexicans are the children of Israel. I'm talking about light-skinned Mexicans with the straight hair. That's not of the, how they us when he not us? That's not us. I just posted a video before this about black Mexicans finally being recognized as citizens. There are black people in Mexico that are not allowed in the areas where the borders are to come into this country. So there's no black Mexicans that have entered this country illegally, right? If a black Mexican came to America, he had to get a passport to come to America. And because he's black and he looked like us, you wouldn't even know that he was not, you wouldn't even know that he was a Mexican. Because he looked just like you and me. He's our brother. She's our sister. We look alike. So I want to curse, but I can't curse. So you clowns, you fools out there that's got these light-skinned, straight-headed Mexicans in your groups talking about something. This is Mexican, is of the tribe of Issachar. You a liar. For you clowns and you ignoramuses, got these white people claiming to be the Native Americans, yes, they were white Native Americans. They were Mongoloid Native Americans, which they were Native Americans that came here from Mongolia, which is above Asia, who had the slanted eye and the light skin and the straight hair. That's not you, clown. You don't know how you look. You don't know your features. You don't know you got woolly hair, woolly textured hair, dark skin, brown skin. You don't know that you black, fool. How is that your brother when he ain't your race? You don't know your race? Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Some of you are stupid. God, look at that Mexican talking about something. That's Issachar. How is that Issachar? Who told you that? That's a lie. Clown. And that's me. Because I got the spirit. I already know this stuff. You people stupid. What that stuff? Mexicans and Issachar. Who told you that? That's a lie. Which Mexicans? The black ones? The ones that you ain't never seen? The ones that's not in America? The ones that speak Spanish? Those Mexicans? How you know the Issachar? That's what I want to know. How you know you Judah? How you know you're not Levi? How you know you're not Benjamin? Oh, because of that 12 tribes chart that was made up by somebody's dream? Nigga dreamed this? Ain't never been to Haiti? Ain't never been to the Dominican Republic? Ain't never been to Cuba? Ain't never been to Brazil? Don't speak Portuguese? Don't speak French? Don't speak Spanish? Don't speak Dutch? This nigga had a dream telling you that all these tribes was in those areas and he ain't never been there and he don't speak the languages of those people? How the hell do he know? He don't speak the languages. He haven't communicated with these people. For them to tell him that they from this tribe or they from that tribe. So he don't know if they're from the tribe of Issachar. Or he from the tribe of Simeon or Manasseh or Levi or any of those tribes. Because he haven't been there. He haven't spoken to them. He don't know the languages that they speak in those areas. Nigga, you can't make up stuff like this. They're lying. And you need to stop repeating the lies. Stop being stupid. Clowns. Repeating this stuff. Oh, that's a Mexican right there. He's from the tribe of Issachar. Oh, you Puerto Rican? Oh, you're from the tribe of Manasseh. You're from Haiti. He's from Levi. He's from Jamaica. He's Benjamin. You're lying. You see what I'm saying? These camps that teach this stuff have the 501c tax exempt status. They are being paid by the government. They're tax exempt. When you buying merchandise from them, that's tax exempt. When you buying these outfits to go to their feasts and stuff, this is tax exempt. When you spending $100 on those posters, they're not paying taxes on that. It's tax exempt because they listed as a religion by the government. They get financial grants from the government. The same thing that the Sunday churches get. These camps can't get that big teaching this truth. They shut the truth down. My other page got deleted because I teach the truth. This page might get deleted because I teach the truth. You think these people up here teaching the truth? And they got all this, they big and all this technology? Come on, man, be for real. There's error in their doctrine. And that's why they are being built up. While those who teach the truth are at the bottom. So the scripture says, you shall be hated for my name's sake. You shall be put up before priests and the kings and all those people to give a testimony against them. How you get 501c3 teaching the truth? You can't get 501c3 being a racist in the children of Israel or about the children of Israel. But if you're in these camps have to allow the nations and other races into the camp because they couldn't get the grants and they couldn't get 501c3. That's why they got Mexicans up in there. That's why they got Native Americans up in there. That's why they got all these people from different nationalities up in there that's not black. Because that's the only way they're going to get that 501c3 tax exempt status. Dang! Stop being stupid! Next we're going to Amos chapter 9 verses 11 through 12. And it reads, it says, on that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David, which has fallen down, and repair its damages. I will raise up its ruins and rebuild it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom. And all the Gentiles who are called by my name, says Yah, who does this. So Yah will raise them up. Those of the Gentiles who are called by his name. How are they called by his name? Because they're reading his word. They're studying his word. They're looking for the truth. They're learning the truth. They're finding the truth. Yah leads them to us, and we give them salvation through the proper teaching. We saw this in the book of Acts, right? When the disciples and apostles received the Spirit, and there were people seeking those who had the truth about Yeshua, Yah sent them to us. We teach them the truth. They got the spirit of truth. They spoke in tongues. The tongues was the Hebrew language. They praised Yah in the tongue, with the new tongue, which is Hebrew. Hallelujah. Kuma Yah. All those Yah names. They're speaking in tongues, praising Yah in the Hebrew language, praising Yah in that language. Hallelujah is the highest praise. It means praise be to Yah. Not all that crap. That's not tongues. That's a language that's babble. That's babbling. That's not a language. When you say tongues in the Bible, and the Bible speaks of tongues, it's referring to other languages. When you had the gift of tongues, that means you was bilingual. That means you could speak more than one language. You could speak English. You could speak Dutch. You could speak French. You could speak Portuguese. You could speak English. You could speak all these different languages. That's the gift of tongues. And the gift of tongues could be given to you by the Spirit, meaning that you didn't have the gift of tongue, but through the Spirit, you got the gift of tongue to this person who don't speak your language so they can hear what you're saying. Or you preaching the word and there's someone with you that's a translator who can translate what you're saying into someone else's tongue so they can understand what you're saying as well, because you don't speak the language. Or the gift of tongue is, I could be speaking to you in English right now, and the Spirit could be in me, in somebody else, and as they're watching me talk, as I'm talking to you in English, they're hearing me in Portuguese. As I'm speaking to you in English, they're hearing me in Spanish. As I'm speaking to you in English, they're hearing me in French. That's the gift of tongues. And that's how tongues went. That's how tongues work. That's why when you say, they say, ain't these men of Galilee? How we all hear them in our own tongue. I speak another language, but I hear them in my language. You speak another language, but you hear them in your language. That's the gift of tongues. That's the Spirit. This stuff that they doing in the church, talking about some, all that bull crap, that's foolishness. These people, that's demons. That's demonic activity. You got your grandma up in there, oh, that's a demon. You got people up there, oh, doing a little stupid, running around the church. That's demons. Those people have demons. That's demonic activity. David dances, goes on. Oh, hallelujah. Demons. That's demons, y'all. That's foolishness. Ooh, season 2 will be fire, huh? But let's pick back up. The only way people will get salvation is through those who are awakened in the truth. Through us. Men of Yah. Next we're going to Isaiah chapter 14 verses 1 through 2. And the reason says, for Yah will have mercy on Jacob and will still choose Yasharel and settle them in their own land. The strangers will be joined with them, and they shall cling to the house of Jacob. Then people will take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Yasharel will possess them for servants and maids in the land of Yah. They will take them captives, whose captives they were, and rule over their oppressors. That's in Isaiah chapter 14, verses 1 through 2. I'm going to read verse 2 again. I'm going to break it down a little bit for you. Verse 2. It says, then people, the children of Israel, will take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel will possess them for servants and maids in the land of Yah. They will take them captive, whose captives they were, and rule over their oppressors. So all the people who make it into the kingdom, that are of the Gentiles, that are of the people who are non-Israelites, that claim to us here and learn the truth here and die in salvation, dying in the truth, dying, keeping those feasts of Yah, not eating unclean foods, celebrating, keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments. When those people pass away and they are resurrected, they're going to be given to us, and they're going to be our servants and our slaves and our maids. The same way we serve them, well, not the way they serve, not the way we serve them, because they just dogged us. But they're going to be our servants and our maids and our slaves. And they're going to do what we tell them to do. And they're going to do it with pleasure. They're going to do it with joy and gladness of heart. Because they made it. Because they ain't burning up. They ain't being destroyed and disintegrated forever and ever. They're going to have salvation and life in the kingdom with us. With Yah. With Yeshua. But they're going to be our servants and our slaves and our maids. And it's not going to be like, like it was when we were slaves, where they was taking their stuff, taking their children and selling them for the highest bill. Little Tony, got one Tony, 500. It'll be like that. There ain't going to be none of that. They're going to be happy, graceful, loving servants that's going to serve us and be our maids and everything. Sin will never be in their mind. They will never sin again. The thought of them overturning us will never come to the mind. Yah will be our king, our ruler, Yeshua, the son of Yah, who has Yah in the flesh, will be our ruler, and it's going to be all good and everything like that. Well, we prefer to read this in the scriptures. Because somebody watching me, they're talking about. I have white people watching me too. And some people getting offended. It's in the scriptures. I'm reading to you from the Bible. Isaiah chapter 49 verses 22 to 23. It says, thus says Yah, behold, I will lift my hand in an oath to the nations, and set up my standard for the people. They shall bring your sons in their arms, and your daughters shall be carried on their shoulders. Kings shall be your foster fathers, and their queens your nursing mothers. They shall bow down to you with their faces to the earth, and lick up the dust of your feet. Then you will know that I am Yah, for they shall not be ashamed who wait for me. So they're going to carry people who was considered the kings and stuff of the earth, who learned the truth and worshiped us, and worshiped us, being they honored us. They wanted to be like us. We the children of Israel. They died in righteousness. In the kingdom, they will be carrying your children on their shoulders. They will be licking the dust from your feet. Your shoes are dirty, master. Let me clean them. There's no towel. I have a tongue. Let me lick it up with my tongue. Okay. And we're going to let them do it. That's how it's going to be. I just read it. I just read it. Isaiah 49 verses 22 and 23. I just read it. Next, we're going to Isaiah chapter 60 verses 10 through 14. See, the reason that the Christians don't know this, they don't read the Bible. They don't read the Old Testament that contains the prophecies, the laws, the statutes, and commandments. They only read the New Testament. But they don't even read the New Testament. They take certain verses and they'll read the verse. And they'll preach a doctrine off of that verse. And teach completely out of the context of what that verse was saying in the chapter. That's what they do. They don't read the scriptures. They don't read the New Testament. They don't read the prophecies of the Old Testament. Everything that the Old Testament said has to come to pass. This has to come to pass. This is going to come to pass in the kingdom. The kingdom to come. Isaiah chapter 60 verses 10 through 14. And it reads, it says, the sons of the foreigners shall build up your walls, and their kings shall minister to you. For in my wrath they struck you, but in my favor I have had mercy on you. Therefore your gates shall be open continuously. They shall not be shut day or night, that men may bring to you the wealth of the Gentiles, and their kings in possession. For the nations and kings which will not serve you shall perish, and those nations shall be utterly ruined. The glory of Lebanon shall come to you. How to pronounce this word? I'm getting chappy. I'm screaming too much. The cypress, the palm, the box trees together, to beautify the places of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. Also the sons of those who afflicted you shall come bowing to you, and all those who despise you shall fall prostrate at your feet. And they shall call you the city of Yah, Zion of the righteous one of Yasharel. That's prophecy in Isaiah chapter 60 verses 10 through 14. That has not come to pass yet. Now because I am losing my voice, and because that's actually the last of the Bible study, I want you watching this to go ahead and read the whole chapter of Isaiah chapter 60. The whole chapter breaks this down. The same prophecy that's in Revelations about the new kingdom to come is the same prophecy that Isaiah chapter 60 is talking about. How the other nations shall come and bow down, prostrate before you. How they shall serve you. How they should give you of their goods, their gold, their silver. They're going to continue to do this. When those people wake up in the morning when we're in the new kingdom, they're going to be looking for gold and silver. And every time they find a diamond or something precious to them, every time they taste a fruit that's delicious, they're going to take some extra fruit and they're going to bring it to us. Every time they see a pretty thing, they're going to want to bring it to us. Every time they go have a child, they're going to want us to bless their child. They're going to want us to pray for their child. They're going to be our servants. We are going to be the gods. And they are going to be the servants. They are going to worship us the way we in this captivity worship them. They are going to idolize us the way we in this captivity worship them. When we sing a song, they're going to be, oh my God. Like, you know how we did for Michael Jackson and them when they sung those damn pagan songs and those stupid songs that we love so much in this captivity. When we sing a song, I could go bop 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 bop, and they'll be, oh my God, they'll be doing all that. I'm sorry, I do have a personality, y'all, but I'm just saying the way we act a fool for these clowns, when we in the kingdom, they're gonna be acting a fool for us. The way we worship the Beyonce and the Jay-Z and the Tupac and the Michael Jackson, and the way we worship these people, the way we look up to these people that idolize them in this captivity, that's the way they go look up to us and worship us. You see what I'm saying? But it's going to be pure love. It's not going to be envy. It's not going to be jealousy. It's not going to be idolatry. It's going to be, this is what Yah said he was going to do for us because we have a covenant with him. And he has a covenant with us. And Yah doesn't break his word. We were sinners. We lived in the flesh. We ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We broke the covenant. He never broke the covenant. He showed us his mercy. He gave us grace. He gave us forgiveness. He gave us a way to come back into his graces, his good graces. He gave us a way back to come into the kingdom to all tribes, including the tribe of Dan. That some of you clowns are saying are not going to be in the kingdom. There are 12 tribes of Israel. 2 of those tribes represent one tribe. Ephraim and Manasseh represent Joseph. There's Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Simeon, Ephraim, and Manasseh, and Benjamin. But Ephraim and Manasseh represent Joseph. And Benjamin is Jacob's second son through Rachel, who died when giving birth to Benjamin. So there's a lot of false doctrine that's going on amongst us. Because, of course, when the enemy sees us waking up, the enemy has to set up camp. Just like he set up those Sunday churches to make people break the Sabbath and keep Sunday and eat unclean foods and celebrate pagan holidays. The same way he did that for them is the same way he's setting up camps, which they call camps for us. He's setting up false doctrines for us. He got these people teaching false doctrines for us. So when I used to go to these Sunday churches and these Seventh-day Adventist churches and these Messianic synagogues, teaching the truth to them, bringing people out, now I have to do that amongst us in these camps. To bring out people out of those camps that's teaching false doctrines. These camps that's got you not keeping the feast of YAH because you don't know when the new moon is, because you don't research what the new moon is. Got you celebrating the full moon as the new moon. Got you celebrating the moon in conjunction, the dark moon as the new moon. When you look it up, the new moon is when the moon is the crescent light, like the crescent light reappears. That's the new moon because the cycle continues. There's so much stuff, and I already did a video about the new moon. I already did it. And it's short because proving that stuff there don't take long. It don't take no hour-long video to make you think that the dark moon isn't the new moon, it's the full moon. It don't take no hour to teach that. It only take me just reading it. When this is the new moon. They don't follow this. Why? Because they want to keep you in your sins. The devil is the adversary. He wants you to die in sin. He wants you to sin. You can have all this truth in these camps. They teaching one lie. And that one lie can keep you from keeping the feast. That one lie can keep you telling lies. Regurgitating lies that you heard from them that ain't true. All that stuff is going to keep you in the predicament that you're in. Keep you going to hell. Then the scripture says that all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire. All liars. Me, I don't teach what I can't prove. I only teach what I can prove. If I can't prove it, I don't teach it. And if I'm second guessing it, I don't teach it. I only teach to you what I can prove. Can you say that for those niggas on the street? Teaching you stuff that they was taught. They regurgitating stuff that they was taught that they can't prove. I destroy them Negroes when I walk up to them and I start breaking this stuff down. I destroy them. But you know what they do to me? They be ready to kill me. Then the scripture says you should be hated and you should be put to death. Them niggas be wanting to kill me. Because that's that. They don't want to let go of that doctrine. Because they want to continue in sin. Because the sin, see, the spirit takes you out of the camps. The spirit takes you out. But that sin keeps you in. You see what I'm saying? The sin keeps you in. The spirit takes you out. But that's going to conclude today's video. Woo! The video was an hour long, y'all. Listen, I'm at a new place. I got a better phone. I'm sorry, I only put the video at 1080p. I didn't go up to high quality 19. I ain't go that high because I ain't know that might take too long to upload. So I'm giving y'all 1080p. 720 frames per second. Sorry, guys. I think what 30 frames seconds. But yeah, this is Hebrew Israelite Awakening, Season 2, Episode 1. I'm going to try to upload one of these every Sabbath from here on out, every Shabbat. I'm going to be recording from different places. Right now I'm in my living room. Next week I might be outside somewhere. I might be in front of a church or a park or in a place. I don't know. But until next time, everybody, peace and shalom.